Alrighty, welcome everybody. I hope everyone's been having a great week, and I hope you are ready to learn a little bit about card making. So the third Wednesday of every month, I do a beginner's card making class. It is called Card Making 101, and you guys are welcome to just tune in like you're doing tonight. You don't have to purchase anything from me. But for those of you that want the kit, want to follow along, want to learn as you're going, then let me pop this up. This is what you're going to want to do. So the Card Making 101, it's kind of like a monthly subscription class because each month I'm going to send you out the link and then you sign up for the class. And so each month what you get is you're going to get a kit, which is the kit like the kit I'm doing tonight. So if you had signed up back in June for the July class, then you would have gotten this kit, and then you're also going to get a tool. So I am adding some extra stuff to help build up your card making supplies. So if this is something that you think you might be interested in, you can just use your phone and hover over that little QR code, and you'll see a little yellow line come up. Press on that and it'll take you directly to that link to get signed up for next month's class. Too late for this month because we're doing it tonight, but just if the sign up deadline is the I believe it's the first Tuesday of every month you need to be signed up for this class. So if you watch this class tonight, you decide you want to be a part of it, you want to start getting these kits and all the extra goodies that I throw in when I send them to you, then you will just go back and watch this video, click on that QR code and move ahead. All right, so let's talk about what we're going to be working on, and then I'll do some housekeeping actually between, just because there are some things that you guys need to do to be prepared for the class. So what happens is when you get a kit, whether you buy it from Stampin Up or from me, you're going to receive a box that looks like this, and inside this box is everything, and I mean everything that you need to make the cards inside. Now last month I demonstrated a non-stamping kit, and what we learned on that one was the art of layering. And so with each kit, whether it's a stamping kit or not, there is going to be a technique that you're going to be learning that's going to help you down the line as you start this wonderful journey into card making. So anyway, you get this box and then you make everything in it, and you have everything. So let's talk about what you should have in your kit. Now I've already taken parts of mine apart, but you're going to have the instructions. So you absolutely do not need me to learn how to make these kits. The reason that maybe you want to, be on my monthly subscription and in this class is because, one, I'm going to be sending you the extra tools, some other extra things, and then I'm going to talk to you about stamping on the inside, which is one thing that these kits do not do. So in this, you should have had 4 of each of these card bases. So as I'm talking about this, make sure you're getting those out of your boxes for those of you that got it. Oh, and then also, guys, this month you should have gotten the paper snips. So this was what was this month's tool. Last month you should have gotten the bone folder. So make sure that you're keeping these in a place. And guys, this box is a great place to store all of the tools that you're getting. It's also, as you do this class, you're going to be getting some of these boxes. And I'm gonna show you what to do with them, because like I use some of these boxes to put my ink spots in. These are our little ink spots. And then I have a separate box that I put all of my stamps in. So it ends up being really nice because it takes up very little area to have all of this stuff. Okay, so you should have gotten 4 of each of the card bases. Obviously enough envelopes for all of the cards. Then you had quite a few of these sheets that you needed to punch out the die cuts. Now these are die cuts, and eventually you're going to learn how to do your own die cutting. Again, we're starting with the kits, guys, because this is the easiest way for you to learn how to work with all of these things before you learn how to start cutting them out. Okay? And then you should have had some linen thread. You're going to have your glue dots and your dimensionals. You had one of these sheets that had all of these little labels on it. and then all of these sheets, and then of course the stamps, right? So you had the stamps in here as well. So that's why we call it an all-inclusive kit, because you have everything you need to make this card. Now, we need to go ahead and we need to punch out all of these dies. So what I'm going to do, and I have to finish punching mine out because I actually had this one on a display, and I've got to be really careful because I put some tape on the back of this to hold it in place. So I need to get this off of here so that I can actually use these tonight. So anyway, I want you guys to go ahead and start punching all of your pieces and parts out, and then see how I've got them all separated. So go ahead and separate them into their categories. So, you know, you're going to put all of the brown leaves together. You're going to put all of the pool party leaves together. And then while you're doing that, I'm going to talk about some of my other classes that are coming up. Oh, I just tore this one. That's good, because then I can show you how to work with one that gets torn. No problem. So yeah, let me set that to the side and we'll get busy with that. Okay, so you need to be separating everything, getting everything ready to go. I'm going to move all this stuff off to the side. But we're going to be talking about some of my other online classes. Now, the next few classes that I'm going to be talking to you about are for people who have basically their own stuff. Hey, Bonnie, so glad you're here. So these next classes that I'm going to talk to you about aren't necessarily for a beginner stamper. You can do them, but you need to have like some stamp pads, some stamps, and some of these tools like I'm telling you about tonight. Okay, so what do we have coming up? The first thing is the craft along. So there's two ways that you can participate in my craft along and get the card kits. The first way is to sign up for the class. You have to be signed up by August 13th. The class fee is $40. And when you sign up for that class, you're going to get a goodie bag worth of $27 worth of product. You're going to get PDF instructions, and you're going to obviously get the card kits. The second way to get the card kits, not the goodie bag, but to get the card kits, is to go onto my online store. Make sure you're shopping with Julie Brown, and make a $40 purchase, and then you will get the card kits so that you are able to make those later with whatever stamps that you have. If you're interested in signing up for the kit, the craft along kit, where you get all the goodie bag and everything, again, use that QR code that you see on the screen right now, and it'll take you right to the link. Now, this is the one from last month. This is July's. You're going to see me do this one this July, but this link is going to take you to my online store. So if you just want to place a $40 order because you know what you want, and it's not necessarily, maybe you've already done your shopping, you know what you want. You don't want to buy the kit, but you do want the card kits to be able to make these cards. Then you want this QR code because it's going to take you to my online store. Place a $40 order, and these kits will be on their way to you. Okay, the last thing that is coming up for August, this is the class to go. Now, this is kind of the elite class that I do. And the reason I call it elite is because you get all sorts of stuff. You still get goodie bags. It kind of sounds like the same thing as the class to go. But the neat thing about this one is nobody else gets the links that you get. So not even my team gets these PDF links. So when you sign up to the class to go, it is a private class. Everybody who signs up to it gets the PDFs to do all 4 cards in this class. You also get a private link to the video that only you get. So it won't be a video like you're seeing me do tonight. I did do one a couple months ago just to kind of introduce what the class to go would entail. But in that video, I do walk you step by step on making each of the cards in there. And I usually throw in a fun fold card or a bonus card or something in this class. So But the cool thing is you do this on your time. So you don't have to, like tonight, you have to be here Wednesday night to do this class with me. I mean, you can watch the replay, but if you want to be live with me, you've got to be here at a certain time. The nice thing about the class to go is you get that video link and you get the PDFs that you can download, and you've got step-by-step instructions, and you can make this at your own time. I have one of the ladies that does this class, and she does it with her mother. And so it's a really fun class for them to do together. So that is coming up, and the deadline, I thought I had it on here, but now I'm not seeing it. I believe the deadline for this is like, maybe like the 13th of August as well. And the reason being is I've got to have time to get everything ordered, get everything out to you before the end of the month so that you can actually get this class done. Okay, so let me go through them all real quick once again. So this is the one we're doing tonight, was the Card Making 101. If you want the kits and you want to get the tools and all the extra stuff that I send, you need to use that QR code and get signed up. This is the Craft Along if you want the Craft Along kit, which includes the goodie bag. If all you want is the cards, then sometime this month, you just need to place a $40 order in Julie Brown's online store. And right there is the QR code to go to my store. And then last but not least is the Class to Go. And this is the one that has all the links and the video links and the extras and everything that goes along with this one. So this one's a lot of fun. So again, those are all the QR codes if you want to get signed up for those. Okay, so let me go over some housekeeping, and then hopefully I have talked long enough so that those of you that have the kit tonight, you had time to separate everything in your kit and you're getting all of that done. So this right here is basically just my contact information. And so if you want to place an order with me, you can see that you go to juliebrown.stampinup.net. And again, I did show that one QR code that is kind of the easy way to get there. You can email me at juliescreativestamping@gmail. Hey, Bonnie.com. And then my Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagrams all have the same one. It's Julie's Creative Stamping. My YouTube, which some of you are watching on YouTube tonight, some of you are watching on Facebook tonight, but my YouTube is a little bit different. It's juliebrown.Julie's Creative Stamping. And again, you'll be able to see all of these videos replayed there under the live tab. So if you go in there, it'll have some videos that I've uploaded, but anything that I do live, you have to go under the live tab to find those. And then last but not least is my blog. Tons of information there for all of you guys, whether you are a beginner or an advanced stamper. Lots of good information there for you to check out. Okay, so hopefully you guys have all had time to get everything separated and in. So basically, I just wanted you to get everything in your separate little piles here. So that we are ready to go with this card. And I did tear one of my leaves, but I'm going to show you how to fix that tonight. Okay, now I have gone ahead and put, you guys also got a block in your kit, and I have several blocks, so I've gone ahead and put all of my blocks on separate blocks, but you're going to be working with one block, and all you're going to do is, I'll tell you, we're using this stamp. Make sure you put it on your block. We're going to stamp everything, and then you can take that off, put it back on your little plastic piece here where it goes, and then we'll move on to the next one. So I'm going to try to do all of the stamping ahead of time, but I'm also going to try to walk you through how to follow these directions. Okay, so the cool thing is the first thing that you're going to see when we go in here is it's going to say, okay, here's card 1 and here's card 2. This is everything you're going to need to make card 1. This is everything that you're going to need to make card 2. So you'll be able to separate that stuff out. So let's go ahead and do that. So what we're going to do is first we're going to take each of our card bases for card number 1, and we're going to grab each of the pieces that we're going to need, and then we're going to set it to the side, and then we'll do that. Then we're going to do this 4 times, right? Because we have 4 of these. So we're going to need the umbrella. We're going to need a brown leaf. We are going to need, I believe it is the smaller of these gold leaves or wild wheat leaves. We are going to need this sentiment piece, and then we're going to need some of the twine, which we will do in just a sec. So go ahead and make yourself 4 of these. So there's 1. Now I'm only making 3 because I've already made the cards. I always make 1 set of cards just to make sure there's nothing that I need to tell you about when we're doing this. Okay, so now we're going to do that again. We're going to lay the next card base. We're going to take the umbrella. We're going to take the next brown leaf. We're going to take the small gold leaf. And we are going to take the sentiment. Okay, again, I'm just piling this one on top. We're taking the umbrella. We're taking the last brown leaf, the last little gold leaf, and I don't think it's the last sentiment. I think for some reason they always give us extra sentiments. Okay, so now that is ready to go. So you just want to take this and you want to just set it to the side so that we can grab those and work with those when we're ready. Okay, so now let's look at card 2. What are we going to need for card 2? So card 2, and again, guys, the reason I'm starting with these kits, it's the easiest place for beginner stampers because we do a little bit of stamping, we do some layering, we get you used to working with dies. So you're going to be used to doing all this stuff before you actually start with a piece of cardstock and designing your own card, okay? You don't ever have to get to that point if you don't want to, but you will be able to do it. So for this one, we're going to need the chair. We're going to need the Lost Lagoon leaf here. We're going to need the large gold or wild wheat leaf. And then we're going to need this brown die cut. Okay, so you're going to do that 3 more times, right? We're going to put the chair. We're going to put the leaf. We're going to get this leaf. And we're going to get this sentiment label. And I only have to do it 1 more time because, again, I've already made this card. So we're going to go here. We're going to put this on there, this on here, this on here, this on here. Now, the cool thing is when you're all done with this, you will probably have maybe 2 of these left. But you can see you've just kind of, so I've just cleared my workspace by putting all these together like that. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and move my adhesives to the side. All right, so that helped us to know what we're going to do for that. Now, because I'm fixing to work on card 1, I also need to make sure that I have, we're going to be stamping with both this piece or this stamp and this stamp. Let me put my hand underneath it. Oh, that doesn't help. So it's this stamp and this stamp. And then the sentiment is enjoy the day. Again, if all you have is 1 block, then you're going to be working on 1 block. And we're going to follow the directions and I'll tell you which stamp to put on the block. We're going to stamp it. Then you'll be able to clean it and move on to the next thing. Okay. So here are our step-by-step instructions. Again, the reason I like our kits is because, you don't have to read anything. You just get to look at pictures. My grandkids do these all the time and they absolutely love them. Okay, so if we follow the steps, the first one we're going to do, so the first one we need mounted is this one right here. Now I need one of my card bases, so what I'm going to do is now I'm going to bring in all my pieces and I'm going to separate them because I have them all together for each card, but I'm going to put them in 3 different piles so that I can get all of my stamping done right here and right now. And we're going to talk about stamping and the best way to do it. Now, the nice thing about when we get kits like this, so for those of you that don't know us as demonstrators, when we get kits like this, we cut that puppy in half and we make 2 cards out of 1. Because, again, because we have the cardstock, we have the extra supplies. You will learn how to do this eventually, but for now, just be happy with let's just get the kits and do those. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and close these. And for those of you that have your bone folders that got them, we started this in June. So if you have your bone folder, this is what the bone folder is for. It is for creasing all scored edges on cards. It's one of those tools that's kind of a must-have, and so that's why I included it in that first kit. Yeah, Bonnie, absolutely. Yeah, those of us, but these are my beginners, so we're keeping the cards together for these guys. For those of you that are seeing Bonnie, she is a friend of mine who is also a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and does tons of kits, tons of kit videos. She's from Canada. And exactly, if it was me, I would be cutting this apart, but we're not doing that tonight. Okay, so now I have my 3 card bases, and I'm just going to kind of spread them apart. Okay, we are starting with this. Now tonight I am going to teach you my way of stamping, my way of inking a stamp, because this is what I have found is the easiest. Now, before we do this, I need to explain to you guys, all of us, I don't care if you're a seasoned stamper or if you're a beginner, we all tend to be either left or right hand dominated or dominant. And so what that means is that when we go to stamp, we sometimes will put more pressure on the right side than the left side. So I'm going to show you a way to do this so that that kind of takes that whole left-right dominant out of the picture. Okay. Another rule of thumb when you are inking up a stamp, if your ink pad is smaller than the stamp, then you're going to take your ink to the stamp. If your stamp is bigger, so if I was using one of my regular ink pads like this now is bigger than my stamp, so then I would be taking my stamp to the ink pad and inking it up that way. Okay, so rule of thumb, if this is bigger, then we take the ink to it. If this is smaller, then we take it to the ink. Hopefully that didn't totally blow your guys' mind. Okay, so I'm just gonna open my little ink spot here and I tap. It's kind of like knocking on the door, and I just do a tap, tap, tap motion, because especially with our big ink pads, they're really juicy and you don't want to push it in and like put any pressure down on it, because then you get ink all around and it tends to cause some problems for you. All right, so now we're going to take this, and it tells us exactly, if you look at your directions, sorry, I'm going to be going back and forth. It tells us exactly where to stamp it. It's right there. So now I'm going to take this and I am going to, okay, I'm going straight down. I let go. I put a little bit of pressure right in the middle, and I come back up, and voila, there's no shadows. There's no one side darker than the other side, because I took out that left-right dominant by laying it down and then putting the pressure. So again, we've got to ink it up again because we're fixing to do this again. Now I'm going to be cleaning my stamps with our chamois again, which is one of the things, if you sign up and do my kits, you'll be getting pretty soon. And but you guys, I don't like that you use baby wipes, but if that's all you have, use a baby wipe. Okay, so again, I'm just going to take this, I am going to lay it straight down, let go, put a little bit of pressure. Now the one thing I'm going to tell you is, if you start to lay it down and you realize, because look, I didn't stamp it in the exact same position, but if you realize, oh, that's wrong, but you're already touching the page, it's too late. You got to keep going down, okay? Because if you try to pick it up and move it and restamp it, you're going to have shadows, which sometimes look good. I mean, there's a way you can fix that. Okay, so again, we are inking this up, and it's just going to be tap, tap, tap. We're going to bring in that other last card base. And this one I'm actually going to stamp where they told me to, which is up here in this white section. So again, I'm just going to lay that down, put my pressure, pick it back up. Perfect stamping. Whoop, whoop. Okay, now I'm going to clean this stamp, so you guys will need to clean your stamp at this point. So for those of you that are watching and don't have the kit, the reason I am going a little bit slow is because I do have people that ordered the kit, and so they are working along with me. So now you're going to take, we're done with this stamp, at least for this card. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to carefully remove this, and we are going to stick it right back on this piece right here that where your stamps are going to be stored. So it's going to just stick right back there. So the next piece you're going to need is this little piece that has all the little dots on it. So go ahead and grab that and go ahead and lay that down. And I always try to center it onto my block. And again, it tells us, now we're going to use this one, we're going to use this ink, and we're going to stamp it here, and then we're going to stamp it right over here. Okay? So again, let's work with our inking. And guys, I do not want you going too fast. If I end up going too fast for you, don't worry. You'll be able to watch the replay and pause it and go back and watch. I'm trying to move slow. But again, guys, you can comment in the comments. You can let me know, hey, can you slow down? I'm a little bit behind, okay? I am a little bit ahead of you, so it may not work exactly how you want it to as far as me stopping when you need me to. Okay, so let's start over here. So now we're going to take this one and we're just going to, same thing, we're going to go straight down, a little bit of pressure, and straight back up. And it stamped it right there. So we're going to ink this up again because we are stamping this image twice on each of these card bases. So if I am going too fast, please make sure you reach out to me. It's okay. I don't mind slowing down. So now we're going to take this one and we're just going to lay that down and we're going to put pressure and bring it back up. This is kind of where you get your own, this is kind of where you guys start to use your own creative license. So and you can see I stamped all three of these in a different spot. So it's okay, like a lot of people will say, well, exactly which way does this need to be turned? Don't worry about that. Just get it stamped and put it where you want, right in. It just needs to be somewhere in this section over here. Okay, so again, I laid it down, put a little pressure. So now I need to do my one on this side. So I'm not seeing any comments from those of you that are in the class. So I'm assuming that means that you are keeping up and that I am going slow enough that you are able to stamp along with me. Okay, so now we got to do that one more time on this card. Okay, you can probably hear me going dun, 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 dun. That's me doing my tap, tap, tap. Okay, so again, I'm just going to lay this down, put a little pressure, and bring it right back up. The other thing we tend to do when we're right or left hand dominant is even when I'm inking up, I sometimes tend to, because I'm putting a little bit more pressure with my right hand sometimes, I get a little bit more ink on that side of my stamp. Okay, so straight down, straight back up. Woohoo! Okay, we're ready to clean this one off. So I'm going to start cleaning mine off. You guys, if you're still stamping, go ahead and stamp. Okay, so the next stamp that it's telling us that we need is this Enjoy the Day. So I'm going to remove this one from here and I'm going to pull off the Enjoy the Day. I have them sitting on blocks over here, so I'm actually just taking them off the blocks. Obviously, yours are going to still be on here, so you're going to be pulling them off of this and putting them back on that. Okay, now one of the best ways I've learned to get these straight is I will lay it down on my work surface, oh my gosh, face down. And I want to make sure that it's straight. And the reason I do that is because these photopolymer stamps, you can bend them. So if you try to place it on here, you won't realize it, but you've bent it up just a little bit or down. Now, sometimes we want them to curve, so we purposely curve them. But I don't want this one to curve, so I'm just going to lay it down like that, and I'm just going to pick it up so that I now know it's on my block straight. Okay, so now I am going to bring in my sentiment labels. Now, the best way to, probably your biggest challenge in stamping is getting sentiments straight. Ladies, I'm going to tell you, do not stress too much about this in the beginning. This isn't like super difficult, but this is where most people struggle, because they either tend to, when they're and you may see me do it tonight, when they're putting this down, they don't realize it, and they might have the right side up a little bit or the left side up a little bit, or they don't get it centered. And this is where you need to be, so where you can kind of lean over. I can't do that with my camera, so this is where you guys will see me make mistakes stamping sentiments. But the first rule of thumb is to find something that you can line it up with, because if you can make sure that what you're stamping on is straight, the chances of you stamping your sentiment are straight is like, basically you just gave yourself a big lift up in getting this stamped. So I'm going to say, if this isn't straight, your chances are maybe 50%. If it is straight, you've kind of moved up to like 80% of getting this stamp straight. I'm going to see if I can stand up and see past my camera. Okay, so then you'll notice that I have my hands, where I have my hands positioned, I am going to go straight down and then use my pointer fingers to put the pressure on. Voila! And then you have a perfectly stamped sentiment. Take your time. Those of you in my class, take your time with these sentiments, because the one thing I do not want you guys to do is rush through this class tonight and then not be happy with your cards because your sentiment didn't get stamped right. So I'm going to show you that technique again. Again, I'm inking up my stamp. Okay, I'm going to grab this block. I've got it straight because you can see the lines on my glass mat. I'm going to get over it and kind of position where I want it. And then I'm going to slowly go down till it touches the paper. And then I'm going to put pressure. Now my paper did move, but it still came out. Woohoo! Sometimes I saw it move just as I touched it, but it still worked. Okay. Again, we're going to do this one more time. Ink this up. And for those of you that are old hats at this, hopefully this isn't like super not interesting for you guys, because I think we can all learn something. You know, we all get in a hurry when we stamp, so if nothing else, maybe I've taught you a new technique on how to get these done straight every time. So again, you notice I'm holding it like this. Oops. And I'm going to bring that down, and I'm going to set it down. I'm going to use my 2 pointer fingers for the pressure so that it gets equal pressure. And then there we go. There's my last sentiment. So I'm going to go ahead and clean my stamp. And hopefully you guys, again, take your time. And if you guys need me to pause, just put it in the comments. If I don't see the comment, I'm just going to keep going. Okay, so just so you know, I will keep going if you guys don't tell me slow down. And then again, you can go ahead and put that back on this base. Okay, so we are done with all of the stamping. Now, the one thing that these kits do not do is they don't have any instructions for stamping on the inside. The reason being is, and I just, you know, when I sell my cards at craft shows, I have people all the time asking, do you have any empty ones that I can write my own message in? So I purposely make some that aren't stamped on the inside, but I'm going to show you, all you got to do is use this same stamp set, and I'll show you how to stamp on the inside if you desire to do so. Okay, so now we are ready to start layering. Now, I want to show you these symbols. So if I can get this close enough, hopefully. These little black dots are telling you to use the mini glue dots, which are these. Do you see this symbol right here? It's kind of like a bigger octagon. That means it wants you to use the dimensionals. So these are called dimensionals. They pop things up. And these are called mini glue dots. And this is what you're going to be using to put your card, to put all your pieces together. Okay. And it tells us right where to place. So I'm going to bring in my silicone mat. Believe it or not, if I can find it. I've cleaned a bunch of them and I don't know where. I think they're all upstairs. I thought I still had one down here, but I might be wrong. Huh. Wow. I didn't think I had moved all of them away, but apparently, let me see if this one's clean over here. I have two that are sitting here that need to be cleaned. I think I can use the back sides. Well, maybe not. They still got a little bit of glue on them. Well, shoot, guys. Where on earth did, I mean, I literally just saw that right before I started tonight. Oh, you guys, that really is part of card making, believe it or not, is knowing where something is, and then 2 seconds later, it's gone. I found it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and grab all these pieces and put them on the top of each of these cards so that we can work together and get these put together. Okay, so we're working with this piece. So this is my silicone mat. Again, this is one of those tools that you're going to want to have eventually. So I'm kind of looking at, you know, what do I consider the front? And so this one is more white. This one, I don't know if you guys can see, but it has kind of a brown tint to it. So it really is what you prefer, to be honest with you. You can put this on whichever side that you want to. I'm going to choose to do the white side on the first card, and then I may switch it. So I'm going to put white side down. I literally just lost my mini glue dots. Oh my goodness. Ladies, it's usually not this crazy here. It was because I was throwing everything, trying to find that stupid silicone mat. And now I have, oh my gosh, they're right here. Okay, now I have a tool that I use to pick up the small stuff like this. If you don't, it's okay. Again, these are all things that you learn as you are making your cards, things that you'll see some tools that you like that you're going to want to add to your toolkit. So I'm just going to pull that off, and I'm going to stick one right here. And all I'm doing is following where it's telling me to put them on the directions. Then I'm going to take my next one, and it said to put it here. And then it has the next one, and it says to put it down here at the bottom. Now you'll notice that these are kind of overhanging, but we don't have to really worry about that because it's going to be covered with some other stuff. All right, so then I'm going to put my card base over here so that you guys can see me working through all this, okay? So now I'm going to take the paper off the top of this because these mini glue dots, they're sticky on both sides. So I'm going to carefully remove the paper from the top. You guys will learn these little dots get everywhere. And don't forget, if you guys are here, to plug in and say you're here. And if you guys have any questions, especially, make sure you're asking me your questions. Make me slow down if I'm going too fast. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to be able to see this. And so we kind of want our umbrella to angle, but not like completely cover that stamped image. So we're going to just lay that down just like that. Now, one of the cool things about layering is that you don't have to put a ton of glue on, like this is our bottom layer, because we're going to be putting stuff on top of it. That's what helps. It allows it to be a little bit more like free flowing and gives you the illusion of movement because you're not gluing every little edge down, but it holds in place because you're putting all these layers on top. Okay, so the next thing is going to be our leaf, and I think this is the one that I tore, so I'll show you how I'm going to fix that. And again, our diagram shows us exactly where to put it, and unfortunately, one of the places I need to put it is on this very top piece, but I'm going to go ahead and do that because especially now that I have dislocated it from the rest of its little friends, I'm going to need that there. So I'm going to show you where to place it, where they're telling you to put the glue dots. And then I'll have to put an extra one over here because of me tearing mine apart. Okay, so I put one here, one up here, and then I'm going to go ahead and probably put one right there, just so that when I try to get these two to go back together, that'll work easier for me. So again, we're just going to remove these little top pieces of white. And I'm probably just going to make one of each of the cards tonight, and then I'm going to let you go ahead and do these on your own, because I'm showing you how to put these together, so you'll know how to put them together. All right, so now we want to go ahead and put this one down, and this one is going to go kind of down here. We still want to see this little, so when you're layering, you want to make sure you can see everything that you stamped, because what good is it to stamp this stuff if you're not even going to see it? So we're going to go ahead and stick that there, stick that down, and then I'm going to take my little piece that came apart, and I'm just going to slide that right underneath that one and lay that down, and there. Now I did go a little bit too far over, and so I will have to trim this, or see how you can kind of move it to make it stay on the page. Okay, so I'm probably a little bit more to the right than we need to be. Okay, so then here's our last little piece. And again, we're going to take 2 glue dots. And it just says to put 2 down here at the bottom, so we're going to do that. And we are going to get those top pieces off of there. And we are going to have this coming up about right here, just like that. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to be working with our twine, our linen thread, and it does say that we need about 12 inches of this. So I'm going to take this, I think I've got it taped. I do. All right. And I am going to, I've got a measuring thing down here at the bottom, and I'm going to measure 12 inches and then bring in my paper snips, which you guys just got your new ones today for those of you that did the kit. And then see, look, I'm using the first 2 tools you got. Now I'm going to take my bone folder, because this is all kind of twirly, and I'm going to just take this and I'm going to pull it across that bone folder so that it straightens that out really nice. Okay, now I do have a bow making little kit, or little tool that I have that eventually you guys will get, but tonight I'm just going to show you how to do this without that. So basically, if you just make 2 loops like so, and you want to kind of make sure that these are pretty even, so I need to kind of adjust that a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm folding this, and then I'm folding this next piece up, and I'm making 2 little loops at the top. And then my little legs down here, I'm making sure that they kind of stay at the same distance. So I'm going to take these 2, and I'm going to wrap one around the other and fold it through this hole right here. And then I'm going to pull this shut like that, and that makes me a nice long bow. And you can still adjust it a little bit, okay, but that's how I do that. All right. So now what we want to do is we want to take our Enjoy Your Day, and we want to turn this over, and we're going to bring in our dimensionals, which are these right here. And it tells us right where to place it. It says put one there, put one right there, and put one right there. Now, the one thing that this doesn't tell us is we need to attach this to this, and we're going to use a mini glue dot to do that. And it's underneath, if you look at the picture, it's underneath that, and it's really hard to see that they used a little glue dot to put that in place. But the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of turn this over so I know where up is, right? This is right side up. And I know that they want the bow coming this way because they want it to kind of be on this side. So as I can kind of lay this, and I can say, okay, that's kind of where it needs to go. And so when I look at that, that means if I take this and I put it right up next to that dimensional right there, that's pretty much where I want my bow to be. So I'm going to put this, turn this back over, grab my little mini glue dot, put it right next to that dimensional, go ahead and pull that off. And again, I always have to, I don't know why I have to check up so many times. You'd think I'd have it figured out, but I don't. Now, just right where that knot is where we're going to attach that to that little glue dot. And we probably could have put it on this side a little bit too, but this is fine. So now we can take off all of these dimensionals. And now we're going to take our Enjoy Your Day, and we are just going to kind of center this, but we got to make sure we want to cover all these little pieces right here. So you're going to put this on here, and like you can put it more to the right. You can put it right in the center as long as you're covering everything that needs to be covered. Okay, and then probably the last thing you're going to do is take your new paper snips, for those of you that got them today, and you may want to just kind of trim this a little bit. All right. Okay, I'm going to set this aside and we'll come back to this one when I do the inside. But I want to work on card 2. I'm going to move my other card 3 or my card 1s to the side, and I will probably be having my granddaughter do those a little bit later tonight. Okay, so now let's pull the instructions for card 2, and they're right here. Okay, so this time, ladies, we're going to need, so again, I'm just going to pull one of these over. So here's all my pieces, and then I'm just going to do one card base because I don't want to keep you guys here all night long. And I also want to give you guys an opportunity to not feel like you have to go so fast and follow me. I want to show you how to put the cards together and then allow you to take your time at home to put them together. Okay, so this one is actually going to be horizontal. So that is always one thing that you need to keep in mind when you're doing your cards is, are they going to be, you know, portrait? I guess this is called portrait or landscape. So this is going to be landscape. And the first thing that it's telling us to do, and I think I will do the stamping on all of them. Oh, no, I won't, because my granddaughter will want to do that. So we're going to ink up this one right here. And this is where you guys can just do one of these with me. And then you can go back and do your stamping a little slower. I always worry that you guys, you know, stamping seems to be the one thing that when people first get started makes them a little bit nervous. And so I want to take that away from you tonight and just allow you to stamp one with me. So we're going to go straight down, put a little bit of pressure, and then you can go back. When I'm done tonight, you can continue making your cards and just go at a nice slow pace. Okay, I'm going to leave this on this block, but you'll have to switch out, and we need that little dotted one again. The nice thing is as you get your kits, you're going to be collecting blocks. So eventually you'll have a bunch of extra blocks where it'll make it really nice when you get a kit that you can actually, because let me show you. I've got all these blocks from kits. And so because I've gotten this, you know, obviously 5 kits, I'm able to get all of my stamps on a block when I get ready to make the card. So that makes it kind of cool. That's the other thing where the card kits are going to help you, because you're going to get a block with everyone that's a stamping kit. Okay. Now, I was like, I lost my pecan pie. One thing you guys will notice with Stampin' Up! Colors is they have names that start with the same letter. So this one is called Pecan Pie, PP. So when you guys hear us talking, we're telling you the names of our colors, and you'll always notice that, you know, if like we have Coastal Cabana, Melon Mambo, Okay, so it's telling us to stamp in this corner down here. So I'm just going to go down, put a little bit of pressure, come right back up. Now the next place that I see that it's stamped is right here. Sometimes it doesn't like give you an exact arrow of where to stamp it. But guys, if you feel like you want to add more of this image, you can absolutely do that. Remember, these are your cards, and one of the best ways to start getting your creative brain working is to stamp outside the box, right? So maybe take this stamp and stamp it there and stamp it there and stamp, you know, you can add as many of this image. You could even do another leaf that goes up like this. So, you know, make these cards your own. I know at the beginning, everybody likes to follow the examples directly, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's a good way to learn. But then, you know, as we move on, you know, hopefully you guys will start kind of branching out and feeling more comfortable. Okay, I'm going to move that, and then I'm going to bring in, the first thing we're going to add is this color is called Lost Lagoon. I'm going to bring in my mini glue dots. And it's telling me to place, I'm going to show you both of these. So we're going to do mini glue dots, one here on the leaf. Let me bring that closer. And then on that wild wheat leaf, we're going to put dimensionals. See how it's the octagon? So we're going to put 2 dimensionals. So let's everybody move to that point. So let's get our mini glue dots on our leaves. And obviously you're going to try to place that to where you put it on that leaf so that it's covered from the front. So you're going to want to try to get it on the biggest portion of your leaf. Okay, so there's that. And then for this piece, it's telling us to use our dimensionals. And it says to put 1 down here and 1 up there. Okay, so now let's bring back in our card base. And we're going to work with the Lost Lagoon leaf first. Alrighty. And so if I look at my stamped image, it's telling me to place it right to the right of my stamped image. So I'm just going to lay this down like so. Okay. Then with this one, it tells me to put this little shell to the left of my stamped image. Can you guys see that? I mean, you guys should have your instructions that you're looking at. Hopefully, I didn't tell you at the beginning to pull those out, but you should always pull those out in this class. And then we're just going to lay this one right over here, like so. Okay. And, oh, I forgot to do our sentiment stamping. So bad. I'm bad. Okay. So again, I'm going to line this up. I am going to bring in that sit and relax, I think is what this one is going to say. Yep. So I'm going to ink this up, and we're going to stamp this. Again, ladies, I want to give you some time to be able to breathe while you're stamping. So we're just going to do two of the I guess 8 cards, and then you can do the other 6 at home. If you need to go back and look at this again, you can. So I went straight down, straight back up, and there's your sentiment. Again, I can't stress to you guys enough, the key thing to getting that stamp straight is to make sure your paper that you're stamping on is straight to begin with. So let me clean this. Okay, so this time it says we only need about 7 inches of our twine. So again, I know you got, this is probably out of your picture, but I've got a little ruler down here, and so I've measured 7 inches. I'm going to use that bone folder again, and we are going to straighten that. And then it tells us right here that on the side with the little slots, we're going to wrap this around. And it's hard to see, but there is a little glue dot right there. So I'm going to grab a glue dot, and I'm going to kind of stick it right there, which will allow me to wrap. Okay, So we're going to start, and then we're just going to kind of do like a crisscross and then back around and back around. And again, find that glue dot. And if you feel like you need to put another glue dot, by all means do. Then you need to bring in your paper snips and snip that off. And sometimes I will go ahead and do that if I don't feel like one little glue dot can hold. I mean, with this linen thread, it's probably okay, but for safety measures, I'm going to go ahead and take another glue dot and set it right down there on top of where that last little piece was, just to make sure that my two ends are secured down. Okay, so now I'm going to face it the same way that it has it facing here with the slots to the left. And then I am going, sorry guys, I have a fly. My husband and my granddaughter are running in and out the door, leaving it open. And of course now I have a fly down here, which you guys know how excited I get when flies come in to help me stamp. I don't like them. Okay, so now we have these three here. So now we're going to just pull these off. This is called a take your pick tool. It is basically my right hand. Okay, now we're going to take this, and this is going to fit about right here on your card front. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to be attaching this chair like so. And so it tells us, sorry, fly, fly, fly. Sorry about my hands waving around. So now, again, it's showing us, if I face it this way, it shows me I need 3 glue dots right here. 1, 2, 3. I need 2 over here, and I need 1 over here. So let's go ahead and get those in place. And then we will, oh my gosh, this fly. What is up with flies that they have to be right in your face? So I'm going to get my 3 glue dots. And you know, as soon as I get like something in my hand that I can swat this thing with, it's going to disappear. That's the problem with this time of year. We kind of live out in the country where people have, even we have chickens. So flies are a part of life here, but they drive me nuts. Okay, so I got my 3 here. I got 2 put right here and 1 put right there. So now let's move those papers off. And then I'm going to give you some ideas of how to stamp on the inside. Now, I am going to be bringing in another sentiment stamp, because one of the things that I will tell you from the beginning is there are a few things that you may want to have as supply, even if all you're going to do is kits, especially if you're just starting. Now, eventually, you'll get enough stamp sets that you'll have a bunch of different sentiments to do this with. But when you first get started, it's really good to go ahead and go to the expense of purchasing a sentiment stamp set that has a lot of different sentiments that you can use. Okay, so now it's telling me to place this like so. Alrighty. And then that card is done. Aren't these cute? I really do like this set. It's so much fun. And you know what's funny is I have a lot of people from here that say, I don't really like the beach ones because we don't live at the beach. I know, but we can dream, right? We can dream. Okay, I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap paper. So ignore all my messiness, because I'm going to show you how I would decorate the inside. Now, I told you that I am bringing in, this is the throughout the year stamp set, because it has Happy Easter, Happy Holidays, Happy Birthday, Best of Luck, Be My Valentine, Thank You, Trick or Treat, Cheers to You, You Mean So Much to Me. Guys, this is a good one, right? And that's what you want to look for in a sentiment stamp set, one that has a bunch of different options. So I want these to be birthday cards. So I'm going to pull out the one that says happiest of birthdays. Now this is our red rubber cling stamp, so it looks a little bit different. And then I'm going to be bringing in one of our regular blocks, and you'll notice our regular blocks are much thicker than what you get in your kit. And they all work the same. They all work exactly the same. Okay, so what I think I want to do is for this one, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to come back in with our little leaf that we did on the front. And I am going to ink this up with the pecan pie. Because this may be the only ink you have if it's your first kit. You want to make sure you save these. And then I am just going to stamp it here. And then I'm going to do what's called second generation stamping and stamping right away again. And then what that does is it gives me 2 shades of that same color. Good way to get a lot of use out of your inks is by doing that second generation stamp. So I'm going to clean that up, and then I'm going to ink this up with the happiest of birthdays. This is kind of where, you know, and I know when you're first getting started, you're like, I don't want to think about how to design the inside. In my class, I will always give you an idea of how to design the inside so that you're not left hanging. So I'm going to kind of fold that back. So again, I'm going to make sure that it's lined up straight. And then I'm going to take this up here at the top, and I am going to stamp happiest of birthdays. Voila! Okay, so now you have your card. And again, if you want this to be enjoy your vacation, congratulate, you know, whatever sentiment you have, you can use for this. Oh, hello, I'm so glad you joined. I'm almost done, but we're almost at the end of the class. But there we go. So that's how I would design the inside of this one. So now let's talk about this other one from our kit. I'm going to use the same happy birthday, but this time, because this is the leaf that I used, I'm going to show you kind of a fun little thing that I'm going to do with this one. So this time I'm going to use that leaf, but then I'm also going to use that little dotted image that we had in this. I call those grunge stamps. I don't know why. So now I'm going to come in this corner, and I'm stamping off the page because I don't want this leaf to be clear up here. Okay. And now I'm going to come in with these little dots. And if you have some other colors that match this, so if you did have a Lost Lagoon ink spot, or you have other inks at home, you can do some different colors in this. So I'm going to stamp there and then do that second generation again right there. So then in this corner, it looks like that. So I'm sorry, your name's in red and it's really hard. C. Mascarena, welcome. Glad you're here. Okay, so now I'm going to take this and we're going to ink this up. And we're going to do a happy birthday with this one too. So both of these I turned into happy birthday because I had that sentiment stamp set that allowed me to do that. So that's why even if you're going to get the kits, when you're first if you have a bunch of kits, then you probably already have, you know, because you're going to get a stamp set with every kit, the ones that are stamping kits. If you don't, then you might want to, you know, think about getting a sentiment stamp set like this one that I showed you that has a bunch of different images. This is our chamois. It's just water to clean the stamps. All right, guys. So this was our boho. This is the kit I used tonight, the Boho Beach Kit. So again, you guys can just purchase the kits, come back, watch my video, and I'm showing you how to make it. If you're new to card making and you really want to start building your tools and everything that you're going to need for card making, then my suggestion is to go ahead and sign up for my monthly class each month. And it is kind of a subscription, but it's not. I mean, you can join anytime. but the fee is $42 because I'm going to, you won't have to pay shipping. I'll pay your shipping, but I'm going to send you the kit, and then I'm going to send you a tool. So like I said, for June, all of my people got the bone folder, and for this month, everybody got the paper snips. Plus, I add a few extra things into your kits to help you in your card making journey. So if that's something that you want to do, you want to use that QR code to get signed up for next month's class. It's too late for this month. You can still buy this kit. So you can go in and you can buy the Boho Beach Kit. I would like it if you would use me. Go into, Julie's Creative Stamping. And actually, if you use that barcode right there, that'll get you to my site, and then purchase that kit if that's what you want to do. Okay, so that's the two ways that you can do it. But again, I want to show you. So in June, the bone folder was included in the very first kit. And this month, everybody got the paper snips. And so next month, there's going to be a new tool, but only if you use that QR code to sign up for the class. You're more than welcome to buy these kits. Once you see me do it, go buy the kit and come back, watch my video, and you're more than welcome to do it that way. But if you want me to help you with building the tools that I feel like you need for your card making journey, then go ahead and use that QR code there. So, all right, guys, so I hope that was helpful, and I hope I really showed you some good stamping techniques tonight to get you more comfortable with your stamping. And just realize, for these first few months, we are going to be using the kits that Stampin' Up puts out. The reason I'm doing that is because this is the best way for you guys to get used to working with dies, working with stamping. It's just a good way to introduce you to the world of card making with the least amount of outlay of money for you, and the least amount of space that you're going to need to use. Okay. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. I'm so happy you were here tonight. If you have any questions, even if you're watching the replay, make sure you type them in, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions. But I'm so excited that I've had some of you join, and we've got some beginner stampers here tonight, and I'm super excited about that because, those of us that have been doing this for a while, we understand just how much joy I get out of teaching, out of whether I'm meeting with you here online or whether I'm meeting you in my in-person classes. It's just a really fun journey into card making, and I can't tell you enough how much pleasure it brings people to get homemade cards from somebody. I know we think that we're in the digital world, and we are, but when I send people cards, and it's funny, they immediately text me and tell me thank you because they're just so excited that they got a card. So guys, thank you for your time tonight. I only went about 7 minutes over for my time tonight. Don't forget, next week. What is next week? Next week, I believe is, nope, let me look. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing that I'm doing next week. So next Wednesday, I will be, sorry, everything got messed up with all these graduations that I'm going to. Yes, so next Wednesday is going to be my craft along. Now, the craft along is a Christmas in July. It's too late to get the kit. Remember, I told you there's 2 ways to do the craft alongs. Let me explain it again. So this is the craft along that is coming next week. And there's 2 ways to do this. The first way is you can buy the kit, which means you get the goodie bag and everything that you need, and you get that before I do my craft along class. The second way is just to go in at some point this month, place a $40 order, and then I will send you the card kits for this July craft along. It's Christmas in July. But either way, you guys can watch me make these cards next week. And so either those of you that already have the kit can craft along with me. Those of you that have placed an order, you're going to be getting the kits. Again, you'll be able to watch the replay, go back and make these same cards with me. So yeah, there we are. All right, guys. Again, thank you. I appreciate your time. Guys, I know how precious time is. And so it really touches my heart when you guys take the time to be with me. So everybody have a good evening, and I will be back with everybody next Wednesday for my craft along.